Hello, and welcome to Night Clerk Radio, episode 112, where we are cruising into September. Hey, you know what? Actually, this is a Labor Day release, I think.
Hey.
It's coming out Monday.
Nice.
It's Labor Day. So if you're in America, we celebrate Labor Day. It's much like other holidays where we don't do anything related to what it's actually about. We just use it as an excuse to make hamburgers.
Mm-hmm.
But yesterday's FutureFunk today, that's what we promised on this episode, and that's what we're doing. So maybe we'll give you some killer cookout jams because, you know, we talked about way back, I said on the last episode, you know, spending summer getting a little bit more into like FutureFunk because it was just sitting real well with me, just kind of getting interested in learning more about the genre. Ended up not listening to as much of it over the summer as I had hoped.
Mm-hmm.
But we played a big old catch up because I guess early this year, the FutureFunk subreddit, and then just a couple months ago, Vaporwave News Network, shout out to them and Pacific Plaza Records and everybody over there who's always been super cool, have both put out sort of a best of 2023 FutureFunk compilation. The subreddit is like 12-ish albums. I think like their top 12 albums. I don't know the actual voting procedure. I assume it's some sort of upvote thing. And then the VNN is a like 45-minute singles mix, you know, more of like a DJ mix, which is like a great primer to the genre. Timely Manners, we're going to listen to him now and talk about him a bit. So I guess a few pretty standard like smorgasbord episode disclaimers. I listened to everything at least once or twice. I don't know about you.
I listened to the mix like 3 or 4 times, and a good chunk of the albums. Like it was, there were
it's a lot.
yeah.
It's a lot, and our with summer schedules are
and some of the Spotify playlists too.
Well, the Spotify playlist are those albums, right? Just all organized. It's all the same stuff.
Okay.
So the recording schedule is a little tight over the summer with everyone's various goings-ons. So not as much time to like listen to everything in super amount of detail, but at least checked it out. So there'll be no real like samples in the same way. There might be an outro sample, but with these types of episodes, we always do advocate, just go check out everything yourself. It's pretty easy to go listen to everything. We'll include links in the show notes, et cetera, et cetera. The other standard disclaimer I always feel like I have to get out with these episodes is like, thank you so much to everybody who does this type of curation and organization. VNN for putting together that DJ mix, which it's probably also the one I listen to the most just because it was like real easy to put on and play some Diablo 4 or something or while working or whatever.
Yeah.
And, everybody who like recommended voted albums, put together the list of all the Bandcamp links to all the albums, which I took from the top comment, put together a Spotify playlist of all the albums available on Spotify from that subreddit list. It's just super helpful for someone like me trying to get into the genre. And it's like really useful to then pass that information along to others. So I always like to, I just always like to thank people for their curation efforts because it's a lot of work and we're sort of leeching off it a little bit or taking advantage of it to make our job of just enjoying the music easier.
Yeah. I mean, that's always been the challenge, right? Is the sifting through the mountains of releases and excellent music that's being put out, or finding the excellent music from the not so excellent music. And this curation is just like incredibly important work to, find these diamonds in the rough.
Yeah. And I know if you're a longtime listener, we probably sound like a broken record about it, but it does mean a lot to us. And I always just like to reiterate it for anybody who's just joining us.
Yeah. I want to say I had a lot of fun listening to this. Like, FutureFunk is, I have a lot of other things to say, but like, I really am curious about like what your overall impressions are first. Yeah.
So I think talking about like everything together, as somebody who took a couple years off from the genre, like really more like 10, probably the first batch of like 2014 era FutureFunk to now. Another thing we always say is I love the move towards including way more like disco and French house influence. Probably the thing I've really enjoyed the most about this like rediscovery. And then just hearing, I don't know if just as a listener, I don't know the exact history, but I feel like, it's just evolving kind of its own way. The disco, the voices, there's a lot of stuff in this one that I don't remember hearing in a lot of FutureFunk. So like one album, Downtown by Cook, it really stuck to me because it has a ton of like slushy phaser on all over some tracks, which I thought was like really, really interesting in a FutureFunk context. Like that track stood out to me, and I think that's why it's on both the subreddit list and the VNN mix.
Yeah.
That track Downtown was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And then I loved some of the stuff that I never would have thought of as future funk and, ad nauseum commentary on genre, and that it's largely meaningless. But that Poetically album, Odd Queer, was like really just awesome, like Euro house, because they're from Copenhagen. So like a completely different influence.
Yeah, like they don't even use the FutureFunk tag on their Bandcamp page. It's like
it's like new wave.
Yeah, French electro and new disco and electro clash. Yeah, that's, I think a lot of people, that first wave of FutureFunk kind of solidified what FutureFunk was. Young Bay and Macross 8299 and like the city pop sound, right? And like it just seemed static for so long that like that was FutureFunk. It sounds like it's an anime OAV soundtrack from the 80s, and that's all it shall ever be. But like then you listen to this mix and it's like, oh wait, it's gone beyond. And in some ways, a lot of these tracks I would be like, this is house music. This is French house. This is like what? Because like city pop was influenced by like disco and funk, and then like they added their own twist to it to make it more pop. And this is trying to go back to those roots. It always goes back to disco. All dance music always goes back to disco.
As it should. It was, it was the era dance music. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of like really funky bass guitars just overall, and I really like those. But like there's still like future funk elements in this music. There's still a lot of like pitch shifted vocals and like singing like you would hear in a Macross 8299 album or something like that. But yeah, Odd Queer, Poetically, it has such a strong open. Like it doesn't even sound at all like a future funk. You're like, what is this? What's going on? And then he's like, oh, okay, I see where you're going with this. Apparently, all of the songs have music videos on YouTube. So that is something to keep in mind.
Yeah. I think while we're on the topic of that album, I guess we can jump around a little bit. We don't have to go through in any particular order. But I also, and maybe this is unfair to other albums. Yeah, I should listen closer. But I liked a lot of the more overt theming of that one around like identity, like sexual identity and loneliness. And was also a refreshing break from just like, isn't it cool at night? Aren't parties neat?
not
Isn't
quite
summer
as shallow.
kind of rad?
Yeah.
Which is fine. Those are obviously all fun albums, but it was really cool. Also, like just, okay, I'll just talk about that album for a second. Just sonically, some of it's amazing. Like that track 3, Computer Don't You Die On Me. Some of those like really harsh synths that come through in the middle. Yeah, it just really stood out to me as very different among that crowd in a bunch of ways.
Oh yeah, there is a music video for that too.
Yeah, so I guess this was like 5 years in the making, which also stands out. Because the last EP, I just checked it out because I was like, oh, this is really interesting. What's their other stuff sound like? Their last album from 5 years ago is more like synthwave disco rather than like house and disco, but still pretty good. Yeah, but that Computer Don't You Die On Me track was really, really good.
Yeah, the music video for it is wild too. So definitely worth checking out, if nothing else. One artist that really stood out to me was Cyan Blue. Yeah. Like just a real, like it's more modern sounding, like more house techno elements, but like really interesting sampling or distorted vocals, especially like the diva singing in the track that they had on the VNN mix Abyss. Yeah. I'm a sucker for a disco diva singing, just really belting it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cyan Blue is one of those artists who has also been on my short list of people like, if they have a new release that's timed well with a new music episode, I want to do it because, their stuff is really cool. They're connected in my mind to that like modern wave of future funk. Maybe it's because these people are on my head together because they're on the Hot Takes Discord, but like Crystal Eternal and That's Matt, who we've also both have done. Yeah. That's Matt also had an album on the Best of 2023 list. Yeah, Cyan Blue just does really awesome, like just masterful sampling, like masterful, intricate sampling. Has 2 albums on the list, which is impressive. One is interesting too because it's Cryantology Reborn, or Scientology Reborn, rather. Sorry, which is just a remix album of their 2021, I think it was, Scientology. So that's the Reborn, it's all remixes. And then Sanatype being the other one. both just great modern future funk. Really, really cool producer. Really like what they put out. Like just really interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. Another, of course, we're talking about like how disco has become more important than like city pop for future punk. And then we have like literally an artist named Disco Holic. And it's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Disco Holic's another person who like, I think I said they did, what was it? Vaporwave? They did a live set for one of these summer shows, one of these summer charity shows. And it was super impressive. It was so energetic. It was so fun. It was so like super, super high effort, because the way it worked is that everyone prepared like a 20-minute show, basically. And then the videos were all stitched together. So you could kind of produce whatever you wanted. Here's me at my, tables. I'm just DJing like it's a live show. But this was like all edited and how these different cuts and all these like dancers and everything. And it was like super, super, super produced. And that just really stood out on top of just like super fun disco music.
Yeah. Like I've realized there's two instruments. Anytime they come on in like a disco kind of track, that I'm like, yes, give me more, like a funky bass guitar solo or like like a string section. When the violins kick in on your dance track, like, yes, that's like, it elevates it, putting in that, just especially the strings. Like it's just so extra to put in a bunch of like, violence section. It's so decadent. And I don't know what to call it, but I love it like also in those tracks. And this is very common when they it sounds almost like the music is going through a tunnel. It's like it lowers down and quiets down and then just comes back up and
that like filter ramp on it.
Like I love those sections. There's a lot of that in this. It's but like it seems like a lot of these vocals and instrumentation are like original rather than being just sampled from earlier tracks. So I find that really cool that, artists are taking the future funk genre and really pushing it in new directions to like, this reevaluation of disco, which is, I'm going to be honest, Daft Punk is what turned me on to disco. Like that was my gateway to like understanding, disco is good. I was just propagandized as a kid that disco was bad,
I just thought it was completely normal to ask people to gather up a bunch of albums at a baseball game and destroy them.
Yeah, exactly. And now I just really like that, a lot of producers, artists are just like, yes, disco fucking ruled and let's just keep going and try new things with it. It's really cool.
I think the mix of original music and sampling is interesting because there are people like, pretty sure Sam Blue is a big sampler guy, and I know that's Matt is because he's done a few like DAW streams and stuff. Yeah, other ones, it can be hard to tell. Especially because they're sampling a genre I'm not super familiar with. And then if that's what they're into, then they can dig really, really deep into it. And then I have like no idea what's being sampled. Like I said before, it's not like Echo Jams where you kind of know every classic song that was on that album.
Yeah, you could be like the Avalanches and just bury them under so much stuff you can't even tell anymore. Which, if it gets to that point, I feel like you're doing enough work that it's fine, But yeah, it sounds original. I guess that's the important thing. It's not, we took a vinyl from, that was released in Tokyo in 1984 and I remixed it.
Barber Funk, yeah.
Is that a thing? Yeah. That's probably a thing, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Like two other standout artists and albums that I think were on my list of artists I was not familiar with and really enjoyed their album was the album Horizon by Brian Orjitas, which is just like really super great funk and house. And they're from Colombia.
Ooh.
Again, I think just experiencing, I don't know, when it gets more into like French house and stuff, I guess it becomes less about nostalgia, maybe like 90s house nostalgia.
Yeah.
But it is just like
it all blends together well, not blends together, but like it's a spectrum, It's not like a
I guess I was just gonna make a generic argument about listen to stuff made by lots of different people because it's really interesting. Yeah, so this was released on that very good record. So I feel like have come up before, but yeah, some great tracks for like in the opening track. You always start off with an opening track that's awesome. But I really like Dance. I liked Here and Now Together. Yeah, just super fun. And then the other one, which appeared on both and also noted that it had a Gundam reference with RX-78 perhaps, was Neo Metro City by Vantage. Also just fucking fun future funk.
Yeah.
And that's the person who's been around for a long time. I feel like I've seen the name, but I never really, really listened to it.
Yeah, that name does ring a bell for me too.
Yeah. And I mean, they've been around since like 2015, so I'm sure I've seen them elsewhere.
Yeah.
But I love the artwork, loved Yeah, there's big dance tracks.
Yeah, it's interesting. They still use a lot of the like visual iconography of like older FutureFunk, very like anime and very Japanese, but still like the music is not again, it's just going away from the city pop sound.
Yeah, the Neo Metro City cover is like very retro future.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
OAV from the 90s. But you mentioned Horizon, who's, from Colombia.
Mm-hmm. That's the album is Horizon.
Yeah. The album is Horizon. Sorry. Yeah. And there's another South American artist, at least one, Yugen. Mm-hmm. And I really like Midnight Matsuri, which is the album that they have on there. And it's, again, very anime influenced, but like I looked at their Instagram and they're doing, looks like pretty big shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that, what's it called? I'm blanking on it, but a bunch of people have been talking. There's like a huge FutureFunk show going around the country, the US, over the summer. I'm blanking on the name of it, and that sucks. But I don't know if they're playing that, but they are definitely doing some other big shows.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, that track, like Wait a Minute is a fun track off that one, just kind of glancing at my notes. The other thing that's interesting is looking at that, and then especially noticeable if you kind of look through the whole group on, say, like the Spotify list, if you go to Spotify, is that there's a lot of really cool like cross-pollination of like people working with each other. Because like Yugen has a few tracks that have Lanmer on them, and then like they have their album Evening Remixes is also on like the best of. And on that, they do stuff with other people who are, so it's cool to also see how like the community working together.
Oh sure, like Vantage has a track featuring Macross 8299. So like, keep dancing. So yeah, it's becoming a really vibrant scene, and it's like these are good. This is the good type of music to play for a live show. Like I love Hypnagogic and Slushwave as much as everybody, but like dance music, weirdly enough, I think is very well suited for tours and live shows. So it's good to see this kind of explosion.
So I guess there's 3 albums off the subreddit list we haven't talked about yet. So I'll just go roughly in order, just so everyone gets covered. Next up is 1980 something by Jansport George, which is probably the most retro feeling of all of them. To me, like that first track, which is also like I don't know, is it a titular track? It's also called 1980 something, more like Your Body Rap. They sound way more like 80s influence to me. Yeah. Than some of the other stuff that's more like 90s house we've talked about. So that one stood out as still being kind of in that realm of inspiration.
Yeah.
Although I have to listen closer. I was a little disappointed that Your Body Rap doesn't have samples from the Your Body Rap toy from the 80s. Do you remember Your Body Rap?
I don't.
It was like these pads that you could wear on like your elbows and your knees and your chest, and when you tap them, they would play like drum samples. So you could like play like music on your body.
Yeah.
So I was really hoping that would be the drum bass for it. It wasn't. It's a good song still, but like I thought that would be an amazing.
Oh, that'd be good for a live show. That'd be a great gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like a lot of Japanese singing, like Bay City Hunter, is just that classic style of future funk, which is great. God, I just pulled this up on YouTube, and the playlist for the album includes an Andrew Tate video for some reason. It's like, oh no, the algorithm.
The algorithm. Oh, it's recommended. Oh, I thought maybe they were ironically using Andrew Tate footage in a music video.
Yeah, I think it was just algorithmically generated.
I think that's on you, Russ. I think we got to have a conversation.
No, it's actually a made playlist by someone.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's not. But I got to check out this body wrap toy. This is God, can we get these on eBay?
Probably.
Oh, I remember these. Yeah. I remember the commercial. I don't think I ever saw one in person. But oh Jesus. Yeah. Bring those back.
And if they are sampled in there and I missed it, then I'm sorry. I take it back. I rescind my criticism.
Yeah, they probably sound different now with 40 years worth of gunk.
Yeah. They're all dying. Assuming you find one that even works.
Yeah. Let's see what else.
So did you mention Zy Cohen?
I did not.
Ocean View. I'm just going down the list of kind of in order of tracks albums we've talked about yet, because I want to at least give everyone a few minutes of chat time. So this one was like the most summery to me, like summer driving. If you were to summer drive to a club, but like outrunny beach vibes, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, it's named Ocean View. The cover is out surfing and stuff. So
yeah,
I don't think that's like a controversial take. Definitely, like, I think Undertow I really liked is like a little more like mellow, a little more like 80s montage-y at times, like teen montage. That was a track I really liked.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Like some of those like sparkly little synth pads, like a little higher register.
Yeah, it's like a Sunset Drive, and a hop downs on your convertible, driving alongside the beach. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely more chill. You could classify it as like chill wave too. Yeah, at least Undertow.
Yeah, it's moving that direction more so than, I guess it just feels more like that than like club bangers or something.
Yeah.
And that leaves the last one off the subreddit list, which I guess was actually on both, was Barb Walters. The artist Love is the album. Mm-hmm. You don't get a lot of Barbara Walters references anymore, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, odd pick, but okay, you go with it.
Hey.
Yeah, Barb Walters could party.
She's a national hero. She could party, probably.
Yeah,
like the track Boston, I really liked. Again, maybe a little more like, I don't think outrun's like the right term. And I mean like the game, not the genre.
Yeah.
And I guess, there's a car on the cover. So again,
very light and very joyful kind of synth work. Yeah, just fun. I think that's more what you think about when you think of like summer jams. Mm-hmm. Even the stuff that's like too club-ish or like too much of like clubhouse stuff almost drifts away from summer jammy for me. Yeah.
It's like that Ocean View Love era is kind of like the most summery to me. And I don't know if that's just from what I used to listen to. I guess the last time, I really listened to this episode was like 2014, 2015.
Dang.
So it's been good to get back into it. Mm-hmm. Get caught up on the genre after 10 years or whatever.
Yeah. Like I was like, it's progressed on, it's moved beyond. But like, there's still artists still working in that older, like I said, city pop influence style. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's just, you want to have a nice mix. And like the VNN mix is great because it showcases like all these different styles within future funk and all these different type. But like, if you like the old style of future funk, there's still new music being made in that style. Mm-hmm. And Love is a good example of that. And so was Ocean View. So yeah, it's just that, if you get too sad from your slush wave or hypnagogic vaporwave, you can just like cheer up a bit with some nice future funk. And
don't listen to him. You can never be too sad.
It's true. You can always be sadder, but like if you don't want to be sadder, maybe listen to happier music.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate the timing of this episode, even though I sort of made fun of it of like, we're doing 2023 Future Funk, the end of 2024, end of the summer. But I don't know. I think for me, it's especially going through, like we said, the holiday weekend here in the US, like a really nice send off to summer, kind of one last burst of checking out the genre before I go back into fall, seasonal depression.
Oh no.
Your hypnagogic, your slush waves.
Oh, your drone. Yeah.
My drone. Oh yeah.
You got to get your nice drone.
Winter is perfect for putting on. Give me a 14-minute song with 3 note changes.
Yeah.
That's what we want in the winter. But
true.
Yeah, in the summer, there you go. You fire up these types of jams.
Bop. You gotta have a bop.
You gotta have a bop.
Yeah.
And I think these collections really, really, really deliver. So I guess if you wanted to get into it the way I did, is I listened to that Vaporwave News Network mix. And then, you can, if you go to Spotify, if you're into Spotify, some people don't use it. That's cool. I actually don't normally either, except for it was just all right there. It's very easy.
Yep.
Go through and just see what's interesting to you. We're also, of course, in the show notes have Bandcamp links to each album. If you want to go check out specific albums we talked about. These types of episodes, I don't want to I always advocate that you should go check out everybody because they're on the list for a reason, but that Poetically album really stood out to me.
Yeah.
And then, Discoholic is great.
Oh yeah.
I think we'll probably get back to Cyan Blue on maybe their next big LP release.
I'd be down for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Check that out.
Yeah.
But otherwise we're going to leave summer in our wake. And you don't have to. Some people, if you can.
No, I know you, Burke. You're going to be as soon as it starts getting colder, you're going to be standing in front of your window with that 10-hour heat drone ambience.
Yes. Yeah, I do want to do an episode. Okay. You can tell we're very off topic, which means we're basically at the end of the episode, but that's a great point. Is I do want to get into at some point weird, have to be procedurally generated ambient mixes.
There are so many. Once
you
listen to one, the algorithm just like,
And we've talked about it before. I think one of the new musics, there's that World War I album we did where I talked about this a little bit of just this production. Yeah, maybe going to ambient season, we'll do a little absurd ambience.
Absurd ambience, yes. I love it. Just
everyone loves a little alliteration. Because what you're referencing is we were just dicking around on YouTube last night because we do our movie night, which I mentioned before, and then depending on when I want to go to bed or whoever, whenever anybody in the voice chat wants to go to bed, we just kind of click around YouTube for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And one of the things that came up was heat drone ambience, like the movie, the Michael Mann
movie, yeah.
Famous 3-hour crime thriller from the mid-90s. I don't know the soundtrack well enough to know if the music was actually related. Otherwise, it was just like generic, maybe AI generated.
Basically, yeah.
Against like a still from the movie. I was like, man. So SEO cash-ins.
I've seen the other side of this in the sense that like I've been like trying to, for RPPR's podcast, I'm putting them on YouTube, trying to expand my YouTube presence. And so the YouTube, when I'm there, is like, oh, you want to be a YouTuber, eh? How to get better at faceless YouTubing. Like there's a whole little sham industry of people like trying to, use AI to automate factory outputting these kind of things of different categories. And so, there's a whole behind the scenes thing about it too, which would be, see how the sausage is made. But yeah, there's once you watch one of these things, even for a moment, like the algorithm starts anything like, because any media you could think of that has any kind of ambient music in it, they'll be like, you want 10 hours of that? Yeah. It's very entertaining as a concept, but also very stupid.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a whole other topic. Sorry. We're way off topic. Listen to Future Funk, everybody. I still fail. She is my distraction from chaos around me. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed whatever outro sample I decided to play just now. It's a mystery to both of us. Next episode, though, we're going to be getting into some new music. It'll be our September new music episode, even though we have 3 episodes in September. So we don't have to do new music next, but I'm gonna, because I've already picked out my album.
Yeah.
So join us for that. Check out something released fairly recently and see what we get into post Future Funk Summer. Hint, it's probably Signal Wave. But if you like what we do and you want to hear more of it, we do have a Patreon, Night Clerk Radio at patreon.com. We have 42-ish now bonus episodes covering a wide range of topics, especially more recently. You can also find us at Night Clerk Radio, pretty much any social media site, the X's, the Instagrams, the Blue Skies, nightclerkradio.com or at gmail.com, if that's just the easiest way. I have had some listener emails with some good episode suggestions I'll probably steal. So always feel free to reach out. Wherever you do choose to check us out, take a moment to rate and review, click whatever algorithmic signifier that site has, except for Gmail. I guess it doesn't have one. Maybe if you star the email. I don't know. We'll have to experiment. Either way, it really helps. Lastly, we always advocate building community, which I think over the last, really the show's been, 4 or 5 years at this point, but really the last 2 where I've really gotten serious about like talking to other members of the community. It's so important. It's such a great way to like share what you're into, make new friends, find out about new stuff and, share what you're into and build up that collective. So once again, thank you so much for checking us out and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.